Hello world, welcome to my channel, Proteus Augustus. I'm an artist, scientist, and American Constitutionist. Today is December 5th, 2020. It's a beautiful day here in the Rio Grande Forest. I was here a little whiles back. I did a video talking about how I'd like to have snow if I was on that show alone. And as you can see behind me, not a whole lot of snow. It was, but that's one thing about the Southern Rockies. It'll snow, but it won't last as long up north from here. And there's plus and minuses to that. But anyways, I figured I'd walk up to this tree line I was talking about, saying how I would like to have an area like this to be able to build a shelter. Now, a lot's been going on about my federal case. I can't get into it. I had to file it under a restricted motion to protect persons' identities and accusations in this case. Further, I can't really talk about Jen at this moment, but what I could say is a tragedy occurred, and it crippled me emotionally like I've never been crippled before. And it just further brings me down to earth. In this place here, this is what life's about in some ways, at least for me. I enjoy this time. Anyways, a tragedy happened, and I'm doing the best I can to resolve it. But as my little life and tragedies are unfolding, we have a bigger problem here. And I just want to take the opportunity to say to President Trump how much I appreciate everything you've done for this country. You're a selfless man that didn't need to do this. And that's why you got so much accomplished. And sad to say that your selflessness by appointing Mrs. Barrett to the Supreme Court of the United States might have been your undoing. I mean, I don't believe that Joe Biden got 80 million votes. And as an analyst, a QA analyst, any QA analyst that has even done an X bar chart, let's say, can ascertain, seeing that spike that the president showed of those ballots being dropped, there is only one reason for that. And there's a certainty behind that. It's called mathematics. Okay? That's an outlier. That was due not to random people coming in and voting and getting tabulations, but a bulk of votes coming in. I've been trying to tell people for years, the Democratic Party is basically a criminal organization. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people that are Democrats still want to hold on to their party, but our country's not a game. You don't get to do any act or measure or harassment to stop people from voting just for your own power lust. Even if you think that your designs on the future of this world is the solution, that's not going to happen. You see, genetic variation means that we're not all the same, okay? And that we can't all do the same work. And that's why capitalism works, because it allows people, given their unique talents, the opportunity to get a niche in a society and make a living for themselves. It is nature that is guiding us more than people think. That's why communism and socialism does not work. That's why they have to kill so many people. Because these people are despots. Okay? I was alive. Mao killed 80 million people. You think those communists over there are going to flinch for a second and kill all of you communists in this country if you turn this world over to them? They think they're superior to you. All of you. The homosexual, the feminist, whatever special interest that you're voting for, you're destroying your freedom and your future. Because there is no future for free men in a communist or socialist society. And there's millions of men like me still left in this country that are not going to allow a small population of people to take over this country and rewrite the Constitution. It's not going to happen. And the more they try to change this country and get us to kneel to their will, their fate is even getting closer. That's just the reality of the situation now. You know, they might have inculcated a lot of youngsters over the years, you know, to just do what they are told. Okay? But that's not how you are a free person. You're a free person because you're taught how to think. Okay? They stopped teaching people how to think. That's why we're in the problem we're in. They hire people that look good. It's all a production. Okay, everything is a production. When things go bad, oh no, it can't go bad because our production says we're beautiful people. Okay? But they're not beautiful people. They're terrible people. Okay? And, you know, you can't blame some people for believing some of the things they do. But one thing I do know is that life is precious, man. Okay? And I don't know why a man would want to have a family with a woman who believes that she has the right to terminate her offspring. To me, that's a psychological foible. I mean, their convenience and their plan for life is more important than that life itself. And they didn't want to think about that before anything else. Right? And that's how society starts to fall apart. You start lowering the standards. Hey, listen, I'm a human being. I got a lot of wants and desires, like anybody else. But when you become an adult, and when you develop a consciousness, you become a more mature human being, okay? You have to come to the realization that you have to sacrifice a lot to be a moral person, okay? And the people that don't want to sacrifice certain things to be a moral person push us more towards the beast. And that's what abortion does. It desensitizes people to life. And it pushes them towards the beast. And now you hear all of this nonsense that some of these other people are pushing. Like, you know, I said before in another video, a lot of officers are a problem. But the main problem is supervision. The good people not getting rid of the bad people because everybody wants to be friends with everyone. That doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And so when you make a hard decision and it affects somebody else, you know, that's just the way life is. I'm facing a situation right now that I don't want to be in. I'm fighting for my property. I'm fighting for my freedom to live in Colorado the way I want to live. anyways, this is a battle. And the Supreme Court of the United States should not have to make this decision. It's been too long that these legislators, and the reason why, let's face it, is it's a popularity contest these days. A lot of these people don't even know what it means to run a government. Okay, they join the party, they hang around long enough that they could get to where they are, and then they got the whole crew around them, and then you hire the whole crew. You don't hire a president or anything else. But these guys have been getting away with it for so long, that's why they have single-party states. You actually, listen, in Massachusetts, I lived there for 42 years. There's plenty of guys like me there. Why do they keep losing? Because it's a corrupt system. If somebody steps up in Massachusetts to challenge these thugs, they'll knock you down. I know, I fought them. Okay? I don't have time to get into it now. But they did the same thing to Virginia. All right? And now I'm not in Virginia no more. All right? Now I'm in Colorado, just trying to live the rest of my life out and some modicum of happiness. And I still can't manage to do that. For some reason, people seem to think that they got to be involved in everybody's life that comes across their eyeballs. It is astounding. You know, what this country has come to, where people just cannot mind their own goddamn business. Now listen, if there's a crime or something, believe me, I got a guy prosecuted before on an application for a criminal complaint for beating up this woman on the side of the road. Okay, people don't know all these things. I got file cabinets, dude. Okay? I've done things. All right? You know, that's not something that you're invading somebody's privacy. That's for helping somebody. That's in the public. Invading somebody's privacy is when, you know, listen, I'm all the way up here trying to be alone, and somebody's got to come up here and ask me. I'm like, listen, this is the Rio Grande Forest, right? I mean, anyways. So, the fact that they use the courts and the legislatures don't have the will or the desire to bring this country forward because they're all interested in their own graft. The Supreme Court has no choice. They need to stand up. They need to push it to the House of Representatives. That's the only way. The people voted for their legislatures and they voted for their House of Representatives, and there's no controversy there. And the Constitution of the United States has avenue for that. And it's clearly the populace and the vote is out of control. It's just too much corruption being reported. There's just too much controversy. Throw it to the House of Representatives. Give every state a vote. And let that be recognized on what country they want to be. Let them draw the line. Do they want a communist country run by globalist people? If that's what they want, they're going to have a fight on their hands, ladies and gentlemen. It's as simple as that. If they think that they could just take a piece of paper and put some ink on it and get rid of all of the blood and treasure that was spilt for this, and for all of you people that want to be free, they're living in fantasy land. So, I moved a little bit forward in my music because, I needed some stress relief. So I wrote Self-Storage, which is the first theme of my art project. And it's in the 1-3, it's in the odd vein. And I thought I was done with primordial tendency, but seeing how Justice Barrett is now on the court and it seems to be an ongoing controversy, you can see how my themes can be relevant through the course of time, because I am talking about basic human interactions, feelings, things like that I see in the way that I see them, which apparently isn't the way other people see them. But anyways, I wrote the song, and self-storage is about the person and about who you are and about where you come from and the universe, because we're all stardust, right? But anyway, so what I chose was the Chinese percussion set to give my impression of the beginning. Of course, it's not the right beginning, but it's music. And while I'm still in provocative gesture, and again, this federal case of what's happened to me is an example of provocative gesture. And my art project demonstrates that. But anyway, standing alone in here in the Rocky Mountains, I feel good. I feel safe. And I feel that the world is far away, even though it's very close. And what's wrong with that? If I wanted to live in this forest for the rest of my life, what's wrong with that? Hey. Anyways, I certainly believe the only way that this is going to get settled is with the Supreme Court of the United States sending it to the House, saying they ain't going to make a decision. It's Congress's job. Force them to make a vote. And try to continue to store all of those souls and all of that blood and treasure that was a lien against our freedom. So, until next time, think free and be free.